The Patriots grabbed everybody's attention by making move after move after move after move. Like, we were watching NFL Free Agency going, how many people are going to bring in? It's kind of unbelievable how many starters they've added. And so I count they added 10 players that I think are very, very significant to their team next year. In fact, I would say pretty clearly the Patriots are back. And a lot of people saw this coming, but they are going to be a force in the NFL next year. Here's my list, my nerdy list of the 10 players, the top 10 players they added that are very significant to their roster next year. The first two are massive. It will reshape the entire Patriots offense. They added 2 tight ends, Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry. So Jonnu Smith signed from Tennessee. He signed a 4-year deal worth up to $50 million. That's $31.25 million guaranteed. And he's only 24 years old, so that's a really gigantic marquee franchise player. He cited the reason why he came to New England is because he loves Bill Belichick. He's got great respect for him. And I want to point out, of everybody I'm about to talk about, they chose to be in New England. Bill Belichick got his kind of guys who sought out New England, wanted to be there, and wanted to work hard and win a Super Bowl. I think that matters. It's very, very exciting. These are not Josh Gordons or what's the other example? Philip Dorsett, who they made a move for, and they're not really like you think they fit, but they don't work out. No, these are guys who all chose to be in New England, who wanted to win a Super Bowl. And everybody wants to win a Super Bowl. These guys went out of their way to be in New England. Now, the other tight end they brought in was 26-year-old tight end Hunter Henry from the LA Chargers. He got a 3-year deal, $25 million guaranteed. It's worth up to $37.5 million total if it meets all his incentives. They also added 2 wide receivers. The Patriots brought in Nelson Aguilar. He got a 2-year, $26 million contract. He's 27 years old. Now, a lot of people do not like this move, and I get it. Nelson Aguilar is not the most flashy player in the NFL, but I think he fits very well with Cam Newton. He's good at going up and getting the ball. He's got good hands. Did some stuff with the Raiders that I think deserves your attention. Go watch what he did with the Raiders. And I'm like, a lot of good plays. Like, I understand. I see the potential Bill Belichick and the Patriots would see in Nelson Aguilar and go, we'll give that guy a good contract, especially considering the Patriots are desolate at wide receiver. They need help. They got Julian Edelman, who is awesome, but he can't do everything by himself from the slot. They have N'Keal Harry, I think he's going to pop. I think he's going to progress and keep getting better, but he's not a number 1 right now. So on top of that, the Patriots also added Kendrick Bourne, guy from my local area. Actually went to Eastern Washington University, 25 years old. He's coming from the San Francisco 49ers. He got a 3-year deal worth $22.5 million. Now, another thing the Patriots did, they also added, they signed center Ted Karras, and they traded for tackle Trent Brown. So this is the new Patriots offense right now. They have receivers Nelson Aguilar, Julian Edelman, Kendrick Bourne, and N'Keal Harry. It's Aguilar. Aguilar, I'm doing my best. It's a hard name to say. They also have Sony Michel at running back. So 40 receivers, Sony Michel at running back, an improved offensive line, Cam Newton at quarterback, who I get why people doubt Cam. He's a former NFL MVP, and when you put Cam's talent with a lot of weapons, including 2 outstanding tight ends, Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith, I'll tell you what. I look at the Patriots offense and think 2 things immediately. Number 1, everything is going to run through their brand new tight ends. Their entire offense now is probably going to drive down the seams of the field, right up the middle. They're going to use their tight ends heavily, a lot of play action. Again, I expect scheme-wise, things will look a lot like the Patriots did back in the day when they had Gronk and Aaron Hernandez together, 2 star tight ends. Now, number 2, I feel very, very confident with Cam Newton as the Patriots quarterback. And it surprised me, but I want to remind you that 2 years ago, Tom Brady was the Patriots starting quarterback and did basically nothing. And the reason was there were no weapons there. He kept running into the same brick wall. His receivers weren't good enough. So how can, I think you and I would both agree, I like Cam Newton. Tom Brady's a better quarterback than Cam Newton. So my point is, if Tom Brady couldn't make it work with New England's roster, how was Cam Newton supposed to succeed? He was set up to fail. Well, now Cam Newton's being given weapons. He's being set up to do well. I'm excited, man. He's a former NFL MVP. He's hungry. And I personally believe Cam Newton's going to have an awesome year. And he really is going to he signed a 1-year deal with it was like $3.5 million with a bunch of incentives. I honestly think we're going to look back at Cam Newton's contract at the end of next year and go, can you believe the deal they got on Cam Newton? He played so well for no money. I really think he's a guy who Cam didn't play well enough last year to earn a new gigantic contract. So he's going to have to show what he can do this year and maybe earn more money next year. But I think Cam is poised to do very, very well and make himself a lot of money and win a lot of games in New England. Now, offense is one thing, but on defense, they also really, really improved their team. So on this side of the ball, first of all, they signed linebacker Matthew Judon from Baltimore. Judon got a 4-year deal worth, first of all, $32 million guaranteed, worth up to, if he hits all his incentives, $56 million. Matthew Judon is 28 years old. That's awesome. New England brought in safety Jalen Mills from the Philadelphia Eagles. He got a 4-year deal, $24 million, $9 million guaranteed, plus on top of that, a $2.5 million signing bonus. Jalen Mills, 26 years old. They brought in a bunch of people that are in the prime of their career. 2-star tight ends, prime of their career. Matthew Judon has got a lot of years left. Jalen Mills just hitting the prime of his career. Like, this is a really sustainable group of people that the Patriots brought in, even if it only lasts 3 years. I would imagine, because most people in the NFL do not stay their entire contract. Eventually, they run out of use and people cut them. But for the next 2-3 years, the Patriots got a lot of starters in this free agency class. They're going to make their team way better and a lot of starters. They also brought back linebacker Kyle Van Noy. He got a 2-year, $12 million deal. He's 29 years old. Miami signed him last year. They had a good year, then they cut him. They realized it wasn't worth the money they gave him. So he's at probably nearing the tail end of his career, but he's still got a lot of good football ahead of him. And for, $6 million a year, a starting linebacker, that's a good deal. Based on what he can do for that price, good for the Patriots. And then finally, number 10, they signed linebacker Devon Godchaux, who is he's from Miami, came from the Dolphins. Actually went to LSU. He's from Louisiana. He played at Louisiana State. Then he went to LSU. Then he went to Miami with the Dolphins. He got a 2-year, $16 million contract to play with the Patriots. He's also 26 years old. Another guy in the prime years of his career. So, look, there are a ton of players poised to be starting players for the Patriots. And they all went to New England because they're all in on winning football games. They want to win a Super Bowl. And it's not really a surprise this happened. The Patriots had the third most amount of salary cap available in the entire NFL. And when you compare, so the Jaguars and the Jets had the top 2 most amount of money available. But if you could go to New England, the Jets, or the Jaguars, which one of those 3 has a history of winning and winning a lot? It's the Patriots. They have won so many Super Bowls. Bill Belichick's got respect, and that's why people went there. People wanted to go play for Bill Belichick because of his reputation. Now, Tom Brady and Bill Belichick won not 1, not 2, not even 5, but 6 total Super Bowls together. And one of the narratives over the course of their long run together, one of the more stupid narratives people kept bringing up was the question like, who is more important in this franchise? Is the quarterback Tom Brady more important, or is the coach Bill Belichick more important? So Tom Brady just won a Super Bowl without Bill Belichick in Tampa Bay. And in my opinion, it is now Bill Belichick's turn to show, hey, I can do it without Brady. I'm going to win myself a Super Bowl. The reality is it was never the debate between, is it Bill or is it Brady? It was always both of them. The reality is the Patriots they brought together an elite quarterback and an elite coach, which is a very rare thing. It wasn't one or the other being more influential than the other. They both made it work together. And because they're elite people, elite coach and elite quarterback, on their own, they are still capable, clearly Brady was, of winning a Super Bowl. And look at what Bill Belichick just did. The people he brought in, the team they're building there, people want to play for him. His influence of what he's done in the past has allowed him to build a gigantic team. And his plan of frankly, like, let's say what happened. This is the reality of what happened to the Patriots. The Patriots last year coasted. They weren't in a hurry to win a lot of games. They were trying to get, cut a lot of people, have people sit out, save a lot of money, prepare to have a gigantic amount of money available to spend in free agency this year. Last year, bought Belichick time to build this roster they have now. This was always the plan. We were all kind of waiting and speculating, but it's very exciting to me. And what I think of when I look at this Patriots team now is that, and this is really fun, Bill Belichick and the Patriots are in the AFC. Tom Brady and the Buccaneers are in the NFC. They're both going to have good teams. So I think it's very possible we could have a Tom Brady versus Bill Belichick Super Bowl, the Buccaneers versus the Patriots. And how incredibly fun would that be? I don't care who wins. I think it'd be fun. Brady versus Belichick. People have always hated for years the Patriots. Like, I am so sick of the Patriots in the Super Bowl. Now imagine the Patriots get back and without Tom Brady, and yet they still have Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. It'd be hilarious. Really fun, really funny to me. And I'm just excited to watch the Patriots next year. It's a fun story. No matter what happens, it's the return of New England, the return/revenge of Bill Belichick, the redemption of Cam Newton trying to prove himself and show that he's still got something left in the tank. No matter what happens, the Patriots will be incredibly interesting and incredibly compelling next year. And I cannot wait to watch. It's going to be so much fun.